Yesterday, I streamed myself trying out the new update for Starfield, and anyone who watched it knows I was very frustrated with the new Free Lanes cruise mechanic. It was one of these things that I was looking forward to. It's the sort of thing people have been asking for, but you could tell watching me that I was really annoyed by it, a little confused, and just I didn't want to interact with it at all by the end of the stream. I really didn't. But I don't think I was getting across why all that well. Somebody actually wrote a comment on that stream later on. They said they'd actually loaded up a new version of the game, no mods, no creations, etc., and tried it out for themselves. And here's how they ended the comment. I thought I felt your frustration during the stream, but it's way worse going through it yourself. You think you're interacting with the mechanic correctly, yet somewhere something went wrong. I don't get what I did wrong the first time, but it made me want to stop playing. Now, I know many of you will not want to be installing the game again just to try this out, so I'm going to try to explain to you in a better manner why this system just doesn't feel like it's working. Is that technician getting dragged up with my ship? Yeah, that's a perfect start for this video, isn't it? That really is. Okay, that man's about to have a very bad day. Okay, so I've just taken off the planet. And let's face it, let's ignore that for now. We got a cutscene of the takeoff, but that was to cover up the fact that we just fast travelled from the planet into orbit. That's what it's there for. We didn't actually fly ourselves off the planet, and you still don't do that with this Free Lanes cruise update. However, what you would normally do from this point could be different because of this. Now, you can read this. It gives you some basic instructions on what you should do, and it's not incorrect, but it's sort of missing quite a lot. For example, it's telling you to enter the cruise mode by holding T, but it doesn't do a very good job of telling you how you should plot your journey. We'll get to that, so let's get out of that for now. But yeah, so prior to this update, what you would do from here, if you were going to a different planet, is you would go to your map, your system map, you'd pick a planet, you'd click on it, you'd hit X to set course, and then hold X to travel there. And then once again, you'd get this little cutscene, but it's there to hide the fact that it's a loading screen. You're fast traveling once more from one planet to the next. Yeah? Right. So the idea behind cruise mode is that you could actually get rid of the feeling that you're fast traveling and actually fly from, say, Gagarin back to Jemison, and you'd be able to set course and actually see everything fly by. Or perhaps you wanted to go and check out this star station, and you'd go there, but you'd see everything coming. Maybe something would happen on the way, and you'd feel like you were traveling rather than fast traveling. And that is what they've done. The problem here is how they've done it. Oh, and let me just say right now, jumping between systems is still the same. You still do the grav jump, and it once again is still the fast travel. This is only for inter-system travel. Now, this is all about immersion. It is. It's for those who want to feel like they're traveling. I get that. Some of you are not interested in it, but this is the sort of thing that people have asked for, or at least asked for initially. I don't know how much people are still asking for it. The problem is, how do you plot your journey to the star station, yeah, or this ship? Well, in actual fact, you can't do it from here, because what I would have wanted to do here, my instinct would be, okay, I'm going to click here so that I've targeted it, and then I'm going to go back to my ship and hit cruise control. The problem is, when you quit here, it untargets. And we tried everything in the stream, holding tab to exit so that but it doesn't. It clears it. It just clears it every time. Let me just get my power levels up, because someone is always twiddling with my bloody power levels. Right. What you have to do You can't even set your course beforehand, like look around and try to find it. Sometimes you can at least find planets with your scanner. No, what you have to do is hold and press the cruise thing. Once that's happened, now you'll see I've got a couple of icons. Now this system's actually not that bad. Wait. Where's the station again? Right, the ships. Okay, I think, right, now here's the first confusion. There's a space station, but it's at Olivas, right? You can't target the space station directly. You've got to target this, and then you can hit autopilot. And now you're heading off. And you can speed it up with boosts, etc. And now you can get up and do your business. Do whatever you want. So it all seems relatively okay so far, right? A little clumsy, not being able to grab things. The problem is if you go to a system where there's a lot of things. Let me try and find one. Okay, so I've just... Oh, I've been interdicted. Right, I was going to say there is a ship nearby. There is a ship nearby. Where have I been interdicted? I'm... here. Okay, this is... Yeah, now, the system has rotated. I arrived here, and I was travelling towards Fen. And as you can see, I've been interrupted in my journey by a sensor contact that is here. Why have I been interrupted in my journey here? Not completely sure, but I did see a ship as I was approaching Fen. So that's what the sensor contact is. Okay, we got a bunch of people to murder. Let's just quickly do... God, I hate combat with the mouse and keyboard. Yeah, I'm not using my joystick at the moment because I do need to tweak the settings a little bit. Okay, got rid of them. They are history. So yeah, there is a sensor contact here. I'm not going to engage with it because I'm more interested in the travel. So let's get back into... There are now two ship icons. One's in white, one's in black. One's close to Fen, and one of them... Where's the other one? The other one... I think it must be Navahar. I think it must be Navahar, which is where I started. Yeah, the only reason I know that is because this one's in white and this one is in black. The one at Fen is in black. This is where it would... I'm having difficulty finding something quite as confusing as I got last night. But I had multiple icons, the same colour, the same type, and they were in different places. And I couldn't tell, quickly looking around, which was which. But now I can, thankfully. So Navahar is the one I visited, and the one I've not visited is at Fen. But I can't... Oh, I can now target the ship. Now, you are not supposed to be able to target the ship unless you are close to the orbit of the planet. That is very strange. Same with moons. You can't target if you are... Oh, right, yeah. Now, here's another thing. Where am I on this map? Where am I on this map? You can't tell. I was here when I engaged the cruise control, right? Let's turn the cruise control off. But you can't tell when you're in the fast lanes. You can't tell where you are for some bizarro reason. But now I'm there. There is no way in hell I am there. That is inside. That is like... There is no chance. Right, I was there. That's where I got pulled out. Okay. If I am that... There's no way I am that close to the... No, the sun is all the way over there. Okay. So let's go back into cruise mode. The sensor contact is... I'm right next to the sensor contact. According to this, I am like 0.1 light seconds away from here. But for some reason, it thinks I'm here. So you can already begin to see how frustrating it is. Basically, you have to ignore all of these positions. Just pretend they don't exist. I wanted to get to Fen. I want to get to Fen. There is a contact there. So I'm going to go... Whoa. Yeah, that was odd. Okay, so it's the one with the right there. Now, luckily, I am actually, surprisingly enough, I'm close to this ship. If I wasn't close to this ship... Wait, what the hell? Why did it... What? It won't let me... It won't let me... Where's the Did I arrive at the ship? Have I arrived at the ship? Have I arrived at... It just literally dragged me off course there. It literally... That was not me. It dragged me off course. That was... I'm still there according to this. I'm nowhere near to Fen. With this ship contact. Where's the ship bloody contact gone then? Alright, let's go back into cruise mode. No, the ship... It's gone. Alright, I'm just going to keep going back to Fen then. Alright. So, I think you can already see, this is not immersive. This is not... I do not feel like I am travelling around the solar system at all. It feels very, very random. I've no idea where I am. I see a contact that was close to Fen. I could target it. Or maybe it wasn't close to Fen. Maybe it was closer to here and it was just in the same line from wherever I was. But it looked like it was roughly the same distance. But you'll notice I can't target Taranis. I've got to head to Fen first. Which is just, you know, why can't I plan my journey in advance? Why can't I... I mean, seriously, my ship doesn't have Google Maps. Crag. All right, there's Crag. Right, so now I can turn the autopilot off and go to one of the moons. Only now. I couldn't do it beforehand. You've got to do the whole thing manually. And I think this is... This shows a disconnect between what people wanted and what they've delivered. People wanted to feel like they could, you know, pick a destination, say this moon over here, and then fly there. People didn't want to have to engage a completely different mode, which let's face it, when I do this, this is moving me into a different game mode. It's moving me to I don't want to talk about engines, but it's moved me into a different cell. This is why you can't actually see where I am now. You can't actually see where I am. And then, once I'm here, I can no longer use the computers to navigate, for some reason. I've got to navigate by eyesight. So if there's a contact, I've got to look around. I mean, I literally feel like, at this point, what I want to do is slow down the bloody car, wind down the window, and stick my head out. Because let me just... Oh no, you can't even do this. I can't even do free look to just look around. I can't even do free look to look around. I've got to sort of spin. No, that was Fen. That's not what I want. No, I don't want to go there. It's ridiculous. This is not... We wanted to fly between planets, yes. We didn't want to feel like we were doing it with a sextant and a broken compass, and that's kind of how it feels, especially seeing as whilst we're in this bloody cruise mode, we can't even see where we are, which is probably for the best because we're probably right there. I want to go to there. Yeah. Honestly, I don't think I'm doing a very good job explaining why it feels so bad and why it's frustrating. You're probably watching this thinking, no, I don't get it. This seems okay. It really feels clumsy travelling everywhere, and I don't want to do it. I much prefer the fast travel now, just because of the way it's done. And no, this is not because I lack patience and don't want to travel between planets. I played Elite Dangerous. I loved that aspect of it. I just don't actually feel like I'm flying my ship between these planets. Not really. Certainly not in a high-tech spaceship. It's just... They've just missed the mark, in my opinion. This just does not feel particularly well implemented. Okay, we've got another ship. Is that the ship I was trying to find? It could be. Let's head towards the ship and see if that's... It's difficult to know where I am. I'm heading towards Montara, which is... I still can't see the ship contact either. Montara... I picked a random direction. Yeah, I'm heading here. And there is a ship contact close to it. I think it's a ship contact close to that planet. Judging by... It's about 2,000 light seconds away from it, maybe? At least that's the Oh, and now there's another ship. And again, the more ships that you get on your map, the harder it is to lock in on any one of them. And again, none of them show up on this map, so I'm not getting a clear feeling of where these ships are. I think they're in this neighborhood. But I'm flying a bloody spaceship. I shouldn't be thinking they're in this neighborhood. My ship's computer should have just bloody well done what, let's face it, TomTom was doing back in the 70s and 80s. For those of you that don't know, that was a GPS manufacturer. Yes, I'm very, very old. But, I don't know, it's lacking a whole heap of functionality right here. Oh, there's another one. Now, can you imagine if I do get these ships on my radar, so to speak, on my scanners, life's gonna get even more complicated trying to navigate between them. So, where am I? Where am I? Where is this ship? Let's find out where this ship is. I'm there? Where's Montara? Montara is there. No, I give up. I can't figure this out. I can't figure out where the hell I am. I give up. I'm flying around a solar system completely and utterly clueless. And yes, I know technically it's not a solar system because the solar system is the solar system because it's the star. Sol, this is the... Do you say Cayenne? This is the Cayenne system. The Cayenne system. Clueless as ever, but I'm not completely convinced that's all on me this time. Okay, well, I do apologise. I don't feel like I've done a good job explaining the frustration and why it feels so bloody annoying. I do love this ship. It's got amazing views with this cockpit. But... yeah, I don't want to tell you to try it yourself. I'm not feeling it at all. I don't feel like I'm exploring. I feel like I'm randomly hopping around the solar system. It's frustrating. It seems to lack basic sort of functionality. Again, I will reiterate, just so you understand, it's not that I don't have a solution. I want to, be able to see any sensor contact that appear on this. So if I detect a ship orbiting a moon, put it on here. The computer should be able to handle that, right? It's found it. It's got coordinates so that I can fly to it. Therefore, put it on the map. When I'm in cruise mode, position me where I am. If I come out of cruise mode, I should be in a place that makes sense. If I was flying between Fen and Navajar, and I do appreciate sometimes space travel isn't about taking a straight line. I get that, but if I'm going from, here to here, and I get interdicted and I'm there, I'm going to want to know why. So physicists, is there a reason? There might be a reason. Then I tell you what, maybe it would be a nice idea to show the path, the intended path. When I open the star map and I'm in cruise control, it'd be nice if I could see the intended travel route. That would go a long way to make me feel immersed. Horrible word, hate the word, can't stand the word, but it's the right word. Just being able to see where the hell I am. But I would also like to be able to go, all right, I want to go to Tarnis, select this the same way I do with set course, and then just press the bloody autopilot, and it does the whole thing without me spinning loops trying to find it by eye. I'm trying to picture that. Can you picture that? The lunar landing, they're flying the rocket. And instead of all the computers handling it, right, they're just stood there, they're sat there going, Houston, Wait, give me a second. It's I think, no, wait, it's a left bit, is it? Is it left? You know, I mean, the epic moment back in 1969 would not have been quite the same, would it, right? Anyway, I'm just ranting now. I'm sorry, I'm ranting. Yes, I'm doing a terrible job explaining it, and that is frustrating me. That is frustrating me no end. I get what they were going for. I do. I get what they were going for. They missed the mark, and they missed it by quite a lot. Now, that doesn't mean the update itself is a complete failure. There's a ton of other things that look very interesting. I love some of the new changes. The changes to NG+, being able to take items across, definitely feels like it will be welcomed by many, myself included. And there's a bunch of other stuff that looks interesting that I've not had time to actually engage with at the moment because I've been trying to get my head wrapped around this cruise system. And this should be the primary focus. The update was called Fast Lanes. This is obviously the big thing. And it feels untested. It feels like nobody who actually plays this game actually tested this for a long period. Yeah. These guys are just ignoring me. They're like, you heard this before. Anyway, yeah, thanks for listening. Sorry if that didn't explain it very well. It's hard to explain without experiencing it yourself. Trust the man I quoted at the start. Trust the man I quoted at the start. Because even on a second attempt, I feel like you just can't understand how annoying it is until you've tried it yourself.